Let's look at the upcoming matchup, Cardinals. What do you see as some keys? How do you think this one plays out?
Well, the one thing that surprised me about the Arizona Cardinals is that, again, for a team that brought in A.J. Green, drafted Rondale Moore, they have Christian Kirk, DeAndre Hopkins, you'd think that they'd just be running zero running back, 5 wide. Let's just go ahead and throw it all deep. In the same time, though, the last couple weeks, it's been Chase Edmonds and James Conner that have really been carrying the ball. So the Browns have to be on top of that early. But at the same time, you really need Greedy Williams to be healthy. You really need Denzel Ward to be healthy. It was good to see A.J. Green playing well in extended time last week as well. He's another option. But with M.J. Stewart going down, you got to have your defensive backs ready to play and play deep. And at the same time, too, John Johnson, I love the signing. And I think that he will be good for this team. But at the same time, we haven't necessarily seen that same safety that we saw with LA. I think that he's going to need to go ahead and have one of his biggest games. And I think that you're going to see a big Grant Delpit game coming this Sunday. Because, again, he's been slowly but surely progressing more and more, doing more every single week. I think that this might be a game where you go ahead and see him get an interception off of Kyler Murray. And the big thing, too, especially, is keeping Kyler contained. Because especially, if you're able to stop that running game and force Kyler Murray to be in the pocket, I think you can cause some problems. But at the same time, you have to be on your A game. The Cardinals are 5-0 for a reason, and you have to stay on top of it going into this week.
You think the offense tries to run over them? We mentioned earlier in the show they're one of the worst run defenses. About the same as the Chargers were, to make a comparison Browns fans will relate to.
Yeah, and I think that's the reason why the Browns scoring early could be a big key for this, because especially if you're able to take advantage of that. I know, Cowherd mentioned it before about, you have to pass it late because you're down. The Browns were able to get out to an early lead and able to run the ball more consistently with Nick Chubb, with Kareem Hunt, keep them off balance. This Arizona Cardinals team, their defense is a lot better than I expected coming into this year. I thought that they would be a little bit worse than where they're at. Obviously, they added some veterans, J.J. Watt being one of them, but adding in some young guys like Zaven Collins as well. I think that this team, they're not great against the run. So if the Browns are able to score early, that's going to be huge for them. But at the same time, I think that they're going to need to take advantage of that early.